Yeah, it's legendary in our family and in our house because, like, every once in a while, in the middle of the night or something, you'd just hear, you're like, oh, Dad's puking. Oh, the puke screams. Yeah, or like the scream sneeze, and then he'll instantly get mad because he scared himself. He'll be like, achoo! Yeah. This is a weird family. All right, so I'm Erin.
I'm Megan.
And today I'm going to do a deep dive into Netflix's new special, Midnight Mass.
Dun.
Oh, I'm so excited because grief, horror, terror, thriller is my jam. I was born to be sad. I'm a sad person naturally, so these things definitely appeal to me, especially if they have some blood, some horror, some things.
A little viscera.
So today we're going to do a deep dive on Midnight Mass. Am I going to tell you a lot of spoilers? You fucking know it. Am I going to tell you everything? Absolutely not, because you know what? You should go watch this story. You don't have to just be a sad person to watch it. It is very good on many, many levels. And today I went old school. I went analog. Meg inspired me. I wrote everything on a pad of paper, and I have note cards.
Yay!
I have note cards. I'm so excited. Usually I do everything on my laptop, but this felt, okay, one, I cried too much to be on my laptop. I would have shorted out my keyboard. I'll explain more of that later. I cry a lot anyway. I'm a Libra. I cry all the time. I listen to sad music and I cry in the tub. Am I wearing all my clothes in the tub? Yes. It's not full of water. What were you thinking?
Who puts water in the
Who
tub?
puts water in the tub?
Idiots.
I climb in with my clothes on and I turn on Radiohead and I cry. But I do that a lot less since I started taking my antidepressants.
It helps,
so
doesn't it?
It does help. I haven't done it since we moved into this house, so it's been like at least 3 years, which is pretty good for me.
Yeah,
and
that's really good.
I've always been really open about my mental health struggles and my anxiety and depression. But it was a real kick in the teeth this week because they changed the way they did the labels when I picked up my prescription. And normally it just says like Effexor for anxiety and depression. And this week I picked it up and it said Effexor for severe post-traumatic stress disorder. I'm like, oh, well, just put it out there. Thanks, Fred Meyer. Let's tell everyone what it is. I hope that they don't put like...
Why do they put 4 on there anyway?
If it's Vagisil, do they put for like infected vagina? Like, that's not cool. I feel like across the board...
I feel like they do. I don't know why.
They might.
Maybe they do.
Infected toenail? I mean, what if you... So many things. This is problematic, Fred Meyer. I want to know. Do you work at Fred Meyer?
Yeah, is that against HIPAA?
Yeah, it feels like it should be. Don't
so
put
too.
me on blast. It's my business if I want to
Right?
announce it, and I will. I'll also announce it when I'm at Fred Meyer, because if I'm in a grocery store, I'm already in a state of heightened panic, and so
Not me. That's my happy place right there.
I put in my earbuds and I do my deep
yeah.
breathing. And then I just, I power through. I just have to get through it and get out of there.
That's how I feel about clothes shopping.
I do all that online now. They hate me at Kohl's because all I do is come in with boxes of returns for Amazon. They're like, oh, it must be a day that ends in Y because there's that bitch with all those clothes.
Dude, if you're just home, they'll, legit pick it up at your door, though. You don't have to leave your house.
Really?
Yeah.
Why have I been doing all the work?
Because you're labeling the return wrong. If you put, inaccurate item description, then they will pick it up at your fucking front door.
Okay, let's all give Megan a huge thank you for that because I have been putting down no longer needed.
I've honed the laziness. Yeah, no longer needed puts it on you. This is so shitty. If you put it on them, they'll fucking pick it up for you.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to package it or anything. You just have to be like, here you go, mailman.
You know, and I'm going to say something that's going to make me seem a little old. I know they have a whole program where you can order clothes and try them on, and then if you like them, you pay for them.
Yeah.
I can't do it. It's too much pressure.
Fuck do you mean? No, dude.
I know, it's too much pressure though.
I never ever have any idea what size of anything I wear.
Totally.
Because I'm shaped weird, but also sizes are weird.
Sizes
An
are
extra large can be a tent on me, or it can be like the tightest fucking thing. I never know.
Mm-hmm.
In some things I'm a small. In some things I'm like an 8X. I have no fucking clue. And so yeah, programs like that. Well, yeah, I do that with Nick's stuff all the time.
I fear change. I do. I fear change.
Dude, it streamlines it, friend.
I know.
Yeah.
You know how excited I was when I found out that I could Bluetooth my phone to my stereo and not have to use a little plug-in cord? I was like, oh my God, I can be cordless. I'm not tech dumb. I'm just a little nervous of new tech.
I'm
just so dumb.
I really like streaming stuff to things.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
I really do. Like, you could stream Midnight Mass now on Netflix.
Yeah, I can pull it up on my phone and toss it over to my my big ass TV.
Yeah. Oh God, it would look good. It looked good on my big ass TV, but it was a little too dark. I had to adjust my settings. But what we're gonna get into today, I've got a pad of paper that breaks down the episodes to their basics. We're gonna go through a little bit of each episode. Don't worry, there's only 7. I'm gonna be brief, and then we're gonna get into my flashcards. Now,
let's take a picture of these fuckers for the Instagram.
Hell yeah, I love these flashcards.
I love having an Instagram.
I love having an Instagram.
Yeah,
too.
it's dope. I feel relevant again, you know.
Like
my nieces and nephews. Well, I guess he's not technically my nephew, but I hope he will be someday. Yeah, my nibblings, which is the non-gendered term for nieces and nephews,
I love that term.
because you know,
Yeah.
Also nibblings.
Nibblings.
Yeah,
for
it's
sure.
the non-gendered term for your siblings' children.
I love it.
Yes.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
We should
it's
put
dope.
that in the Urban Dictionary.
No, it's in the dictionary.
Oh.
It's normalized.
Oh shit! I was giving you all the credit. You should take it.
Oh no, dude, I didn't make that up.
Oh.
I would have just said
I
I was gonna say grandbabies, but I guess that's already taken.
I
I don't know.
babies.
I'm an only child, so I never thought that I'd have like nibblings, and so I'm just stoked that I do.
I love that term.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, so my cards have I love these Jeopardy style cards that Meg does, so I'm doing them too. So today we have Mike Flanagan and Grief, the gift that keeps on giving.
I love that.
We have trivia. We have Erin, the human encyclopedia of movies and TV, which I am to a point. And Christ's Num Nums. That personally is my favorite. I can't wait to get into Christ's Num Nums. Num Nums. No. I had way too much coffee.
When you say Christ's Num Nums, I'm like, oh, so like rice cakes and like non-alcoholic wine? That sounds good.
Well, that's what it turned into. We're going to take a hard left when we get to Christ's Num Nums. So hang on to it because we're going to get into it. Okay, so if you're not aware, Midnight Mass is one of the 3rd installments in a series that Mike Flanagan and his wife, Kate Siegel, the gorgeous, amazing Kate Siegel, who stars in all of these.
Shit.
Yeah, she was Theodora in The Haunting of Hill House.
Oh, you know what? No, sorry.
You were thinking of Katie Siegel.
Yes, I was. And so Erin had this other podcast, the Sleepy Nuts podcast. It's super funny, and you need to listen to it if you haven't.
You should check it out.
But she had done an episode. So she takes celebrities, makes really funny stories about them, and that's essentially the premise. And it's brilliant. But she did one with Kate Siegel, and for like 9/10 of it, I was imagining Katie Siegel from
Yes.
you know, Married with Children, Sons of Anarchy, plays Leela on Futurama, and so like, and they are vastly different.
Very different.
I will make a note to show just specifically how goddamn different they are.
There's an age difference. I'm sure there's a stature difference.
Everything different.
There definitely is.
Other than they're both white people, I think that, and they're both females. That's, I think, the only similarities that they have. They have hair.
They have hair that is often brown. I think that's a similarity.
Yes.
But yeah, so Kate Siegel is his, she stars in everything, and she's fantastic. She looks vaguely like Angelina Jolie, but also like other beautiful women, but still she looks like herself, and she's a fantastic actress, and I love her, which is why I wrote a whole episode about her on my Sleepy Knots podcast, which you can still check out. Even though I don't make new episodes anymore. So The Haunting of Hill House, The Haunting of Bly Manor, Oculus, Hush, they've made all of these amazing movies and series together.
We watched Oculus every Halloween. We watch it together.
It's so good.
Well, this year, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know if I should be admitting this, but like, our kid was there when we were watching it this last time.
Oh yeah.
And he's 3. And we figured, okay, these are kind of like abstract concepts, and so he's not going to really grasp it. No, he did, and I think that he was scared.
Oh, no.
I kept asking him if he was, and he seemed like he was having a good time.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I watch spooky movies. He was super stoked, but like, I'm pretty sure that he's going to talk to his therapist about it in like 15 years.
Yeah, no, Dave came home last night and I was watching the final episode of Midnight Mass, which is where shit gets fucked up. And there's a little 3-year-old Wolfie sitting on the couch next to me just watching. He goes, what the fuck are you doing? And I said, it's fine. He's seen it before. It didn't go over well then either, but I think he was mostly asleep. I don't know. He did seem freaked out this time because Wolfie and Alex are about the same age. Yeah, about 3 and... Oh man, yeah, that didn't go over well at all. So when I want to cry, as I mentioned, sad person alert, which explains the being goth my whole life, and
I was a baby goth.
Yeah,
we should post our goth photos.
Oh yeah, I
gotta find mine.
I have some that have been destroyed, but I had cape, fangs, little vinyl coffin-shaped purse.
Oh my God, we would have been besties.
We would have been besties. It would have been amazing. And so when I want to cry, and you know what I mean. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. Like,
oh yeah.
Like I'm on the verge. I
like
want
your
to
emotions
cry.
are constipated.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There
My
are
brain gets itchy.
Oh, there are just a couple of shows that I put on. One of them added to the list is of course this one, Midnight Mass. The other one is The Haunting of Hill House because despite its title, it is a full-on deep dive into grief. And Mike Flanagan has talked about how he wrote it about grief, and it's fucking phenomenal. And True Detective, season 1 and season 3, because fuck season 2. Season 1, whenever I hear the song that plays at the end of the last episode when they cut to black, it doesn't matter if I could be at the beach eating tacos, hanging out with Tom Hardy, I would still burst into tears.
You know, it sounds so fucking weird. You know what my go-to is and has been for the last 25 years?
What?
Beaches.
Beaches!
For different reasons at different points in my life. I don't know, man.
Dude. Okay, picture this. You all have seen it on the Instagram. If you haven't, you should go check it out. Little me, right? Little bangs, little sandals, the whole thing. Sobbing because my dad went to Home Depot and he bought pieces of PVC and he built me a little microphone stand. Sobbing with joy when he gave it to me because I could stand up and sing along to the Beaches soundtrack while I watched it with my own microphone stand. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Tears of joy. Dad. Yeah, it was so sweet.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And I was heartbroken when it was gone because it was the coolest thing ever. It was this handmade microphone stand, and I would like do the whole thing, you know, when she was a little performer. And that movie. Oh my God. That movie gets me right here. Oh boy. So this is definitely one of those. So we filmed our Patreon video today, and you might notice I'm wearing my glasses because my eyes are so fucking swollen from crying all last night. I can barely see out of them. It's also uncomfortable because like they're swollen and they kind of hurt.
That must be some hard crying.
I was hard crying. I was hard ugly crying last night.
I think that probably when I cry, if I saw myself crying, it would make me cry because like I don't usually ugly cry. Usually it's just my stoic face, but it's wet.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. How fucking sad is that?
It's so wrong. You know, I remember seeing Claire Danes cry in Romeo and Juliet where her bottom like lip trembles and then she like, he's dead, but I'm here.
My bottom lip doesn't even tremble. It's just the face that you're looking at right now, but it's wet. Yeah.
Oh, my lip trembles. My face kind of goes, ooh. I mean, it's real. I'm like Kim Kardashian ugly crier. Yeah. It's terrible.
I ugly cry once a decade.
Oh, it's
I'm
like
overdue.
your purge. Yeah. well, you could watch this. And no, I just
Nah,
everything.
it'll probably just make me stoic cry.
Probably, well, maybe it might not make anybody cry. I don't know. I have different trigger points. We all do, you know.
Yes, dude.
One of mine is a fear of Alzheimer's and dementia.
Oh shit! Yeah, I can't. I've never seen The Notebook.
Oh, don't.
No. I can't even tell somebody the premise of The Notebook without wanting to ugly cry.
Yeah. It's bad.
Yeah, and I've never even seen the fucking movie. I've just heard the premise once.
I think in a past life I died of Alzheimer's or something. I don't know. I'm so terrified of, one, getting old and being gross, which I know is really vain.
I'm already gross.
But I am already gross. No, but like being old gross, where you're like, I have this white hair growing out of my neck and I don't see it and it blows in the wind. And, you know,
Yeah,
like,
sure. That totally doesn't happen to me all the fucking time.
Oh, no, I have black hairs. No, mine are black.
Oh.
They're still black. I still have my chin hairs.
Your natural color is still brown, though. Like, I'm all salt and pepper up top.
Oh, I never would have guessed that.
Yeah.
I have little wispies of gray, but
it runs in my family. My grandmother was completely white by the time she was like 30.
White is
My
so
mom,
beautiful.
Yeah, my mom's hair by the time she was 40, it was mostly white.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm super salt and pepper.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
yeah, I got I don't know, man. It was probably in my mid-20s. I found like a white whisker and I was like, cool. This is a new phase.
I keep tweezers in my car because there's
Yeah, me
better
too.
natural light for
Yeah, there
plucking
is.
my chin hairs in there.
Yeah.
I remember yelling at Dave because I've got a mole on my chin and there's a black hair that grows out of it. And we were outside and I kept thinking there was a spider on my face. He goes, "It's your fucking mole hair." I was like, "Why didn't you tell me that?" Jesus. He goes, "I didn't want to hurt your feelings." I go, "I would have fucking told you in a heartbeat, dude. You have a gross hair." And he's like, "Yeah, well, I'm not an asshole."
So I am an asshole, and I think that it's awesome that people have weird hairs that like grow out of their ears and stuff, and so I will fucking not tell a person. I'll just stare at it and smile.
Oh, I can't do it. I have this crippling fear of getting old. Old papery skin, like that old dry mouth, you know, like I don't know. It fucking scares the shit out of me.
That's so funny because the alternative is an early death.
I'll take it, I think.
Really?
I think so.
No, man, I'm gonna be old as fuck.
Are you?
Oh yeah.
See, part of
I
me
have
thinks...
I have no fear of death, and I have no fear of growing old.
Yeah.
I only fear like my only fear is that like my kid is sad.
Yeah.
Like that's probably the only thing that I care about, or that my dog is sad.
See, and
That's like the two things I give a shit about. Everything else can go fuck itself.
Well, I don't have any rational reason for being afraid of aging, which is why I think maybe I did die of Alzheimer's traumatically or something in another life. I don't know, because there's no rhyme or reason to
Maybe
it.
you died of just being real fucking old.
Or real fucking crazy. Maybe I got crazy, like, blood worms in my brain or something.
Yeah, your brains are made of ghosts.
Oh, man. The ghost brains killed me. You know, it's something because I'm not vain. I'm not, like, a beautiful person that preens all the time that, like, oh, I don't want to age. I don't give a shit about aging. I embrace aging. But getting old, man. Oh, just the physicality of it. So that's this whole show is about getting old and being old as crap and deteriorating. And so it really hits a nerve. The memory thing hits a nerve.
That's mainly it. Like having worked with people with dementia in various stages. Yeah, that's brutal, man. Luckily, I mean, fucking knock on wood, nobody in my family has ever experienced any of that ever.
You're so lucky.
I mean, yeah, like we all keep our druthers till the very fucking end.
But in episode 1, we do get to quote unquote meet the crew. That's what I wrote. So our handsome character Riley, he's a young handsome man. He comes back home after 4 years of being in prison for drunk driving and killing a young teenage girl, which is horrible and sad. He comes home to Crockett Island, which has a population of 127. I feel like that's important to mention. It is a tiny fucking island.
I also think that you should mention that like did you mention what he sees when he's ever?
You should mention it.
Ever? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay. Going back to Oculus. He presumably it's a drunk driving accident and this is in the first like 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of like all I assume he's drunk. And there's this chick, and the paramedics are working on her, and she's got glass in her face, and she's just, like, hollowly, like she's dead. She's dead as fuck, right?
Yeah, she's dead.
And the paramedics are working on her, and she's just hollowly staring at him, and he's like, is she okay? And they're like, no, she's fucking dead, you jackass.
Yeah.
And then later on, when he's in his prison cell, he like looks over and he just sees her staring at him, standing up, covered in glass, and I was like, ooh, Oculus.
Oh, so creepy. Every time he tries to go to sleep, he sees her. Yeah, he just sees her standing there. So it's
And every time I tried to go to sleep, I saw the same.
Oh, it has a good ending. It does. It has
I
a good
liked.
ending.
I don't
It
know.
was
I
very
thought
good.
that was very impactful.
So we meet lots of people on the island. The only other one worth mentioning besides Erin, she's awesome. Awesome hair, played by Kate Siegel. Awesome name. Is Monsignor Pruitt. So he's the crusty ass old fucking priest. He's the old Catholic priest from this whole Catholic island, with the exception of the sheriff, who is a Muslim, and his son. And so Monsignor Pruitt has been sent away on a pilgrimage because he's like, I don't know, 80, 112, something. He's old as shit. And so they send him to Jerusalem, or Jerusalem?
Yes.
Yeah. They send him on a pilgrimage to the Holy Land. And so they're talking about like, oh, he was supposed to come back today and he didn't come back. That's crazy. So yeah, basically you just meet everybody. We can keep going. Episode 2, you get lots of backstory on everybody. There's just a lot of backstory that I'm going to skim over. You shouldn't. Now I will say that in Monsignor Pruitt's place, this young, handsome priest shows up and he's like, yeah, your crusty ass old priest. He's in a home because he was nutty and ancient. I'm here to take his place until he gets better, and you can just call me Father Hotpants. And that's not what that's not what he says. But.
So that dude has played like a similar, just very maniacal role in a few things, and for the life of me, I can't place it. But when I saw his face, that's when I was like, oh, this is gonna be a good show.
Oh, he's so good.
Oh,
Hamish Linkletter.
Man. What's his name?
Hamish Linkletter.
Damn.
Such a good Scottish name.
He's so
I've got
good.
some trivia about him. I
Ooh,
love
I look
him.
forward to it.
I love him. He is. I had one of my sexy dreams about him.
Lucky you.
Yeah, I know, right? It was very weird. In it, we were huffing nitrous and like making out. It was very weird. But we meet Bev, who is like his right hand bitch who runs the church. And I say bitch not as a derogatory term to ladies. She's a fucking see you next Tuesday.
Oh.
She is a super devout mega bitch who helps him run the church. And so when he shows up, he's like, hey, I'm here. Let's do a mass. I can introduce myself to everybody. And, you know, they don't question it too much. He's pretty handsome. Everything's going good. He's given communion to everyone. Now, every time he says, body of Christ, and he hands them like their little wafer, I fucking laugh my ass off because there's this episode of South Park where Cartman starts a Christian band so he can get like famous and rich in the Christian rock industry, and he has this song. It's like body of Christ. Body of Christ. And every time I fucking hear him say body of Christ, I laugh and think of Cartman. And so there's a girl in a wheelchair, and he's doing mass, and he's handing out his wafers, and he goes to hand her hers, and he steps back. And she's like, no. And she moves her wheelchair forward. He's like, no. And he goes up the stairs. He's like, get up and come get your wafer. She's like, my fucking legs don't work, you dick. And he's like, oh, yeah? How about now? And she's like, wait, what? So she stands up and her fucking legs work. And he's like, oh, I brought miracles with me. You're welcome. You can walk now. And they're like, wait, what? Why?
Let's talk about
Why?
even the mechanics of that, though, because let's say it was a spinal injury, right?
It was. She was shot in the spine.
Oh, I'm so good.
You're so good.
Okay, so it's a spinal injury, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even if he was able to, through the power of God or magic or whatever, fuse her spine back together and get all those cords straight, which would be difficult, her legs still would have atrophied.
Totally.
So even if, like, you're, really sick and in bed for, like, a couple weeks, you can't just start sprinting. You can't just walk upstairs immediately.
You get withered polio legs.
Yes.
Yeah. Like little withered legs, right?
That's what happens.
Yeah.
Because your
Yeah, and I don't say that jokingly. I think spinal injuries are gnarly, but like truly your body atrophies. It's gnarly, but not this girl. Oh no. She
Power
hops
of
up
Christ
and
compelled her to walk right there and get that stale fucking wafer.
she was like, put it in my mouth. I want it.
I've always wondered if they taste like rice cakes, because I think that they do, but in Mormonism, we didn't get the special wafers. We just got, like, bread that was ripped apart.
See, and I tried to do a deep dive on the wafers because I think they're just rice wafers. And there was literally no interesting information.
Like,
about
do
the
they
wafers.
dissolve in your mouth? Like, have you had them before? What
I
are
have.
they like?
They're like a rice cracker, like the ones you get at Costco. Kind of like a dry rice
Are
cracker.
you supposed to let it dissolve in your mouth, or are you supposed to chew it?
I always chewed it, but I mean, I'm kind of chubby and I really like food, so I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I wasn't supposed to eat it.
That's fine, yeah.
But everyone's like, "What the shit?" Oh, there we go. No more squeakies.
Cool.
So we're powering right on through because honestly, episode 1 and 2 are kind of boring. It's all backstory. It's all set up.
I have tried to watch this 3, maybe 4 times, and yeah, she's right. Episode 1, I totally got through, and then a few weeks later, I tried to watch it, and I was like, oh, I've totally already seen this, and so I watched episode 1 again, and it's, I don't know, a pretty good episode, and episode 2 is like pulling fucking teeth, and I haven't been able to get through it, but everybody says first couple of episodes are difficult, and then it's moving. Like Galapagos, the book by Kurt Vonnegut.
Yes. Oh my God, that's the perfect way to describe that.
It's like one of my favorite books.
I reread Sirens of Titan once every other year or something.
You're the only other person that I've talked to who has even heard of Sirens of Titan. It's a great short book. It's, 120 pages?
I think so. It's so much better than Slaughterhouse 5. So much better.
Every single thing he's ever done is so much better than Slaughterhouse 5. I didn't really care for it. Timequake was all right, yeah.
Timequake was good, yeah.
I think Galapagos, Breakfast of Champions, and Sirens of Titan.
Yeah.
For sure.
For sure. See, there's another thing.
Dope.
So we go into episode 3, and now the priest gets into the story of what happened to the old dementia-riddled priest. So we've got Father Hotpants, and he's telling the story through like a confession setup. So like he goes into confession and he's just like talking to God, right? Because he's just the only one in the booth. But he tells the story of the Monsignor Pruitt, who went on a pilgrimage to Jerusalem and got lost in the middle of the desert in a dust storm. And he was scared and he didn't know where he was. And at this point, I'm already on the verge of tears. I'm like, oh no, old man in the desert, right? He finds a cave. And he wanders into the cave, right? And he's like, ooh, dark cave, woohoo. Not woohoo, because there's a fucking demon in there. There's a winged demon that he's like, oh, you're an angel of the Lord here to save me, right? What does it do? Caw-caw! It comes flying at him and chomps the shit out of his neck. Just takes a fucking bite out of him. Drinks all of his blood.
Why was he surprised? It's a cave. Angels don't chill in caves, bro.
No, and angels don't have wings that look like testicles with little hooks on them from what I'm told.
Angels are made almost entirely of eyes, which is actually a little scarier.
That is much scarier, but far more comforting if you're expecting
They have no teeth to chomp.
No, see? And no voices that we can understand. And this
No,
one
they
was
just
definitely...
yell at you with their eyes.
Yeah, this one was going caw-caw, caw-caw. So,
yeah, that's not an angel.
No, this was like a demon bat. And so it does the regular bat.
She's wearing a shirt that's got a bat on it.
I'm wearing a bat shirt. And so he's like, okay, I'm scared, I'm hurt, this thing is eating me, it must be my time to go to heaven. But no, the demon angel is like, I have been pretty lonely in this cave for the past, I don't know how many fucking years. This guy looks like he could be interesting. So he bites his wrist and gives him his demon blood. Right? Thus, the transformation begins. So, Monsignor Pruitt passes out. When he wakes up, he is Father Hotpants.
No
yes,
shit.
Same, one in the same. But that's what he looked like when he was young and sexy, right?
Oh,
yeah.
My God. That's so fucking cool. Okay.
So he comes to and he's like, oh, whoa, I don't have arthritis in my fingers. Holy shit, can I dance a
I'll
jig?
take some of that blood.
Yeah, and the sun's out and he looks back
hurts all the time.
And he's like, oh, you're an angel. Look, you fucking fixed me. I don't have the ghosts in my head anymore. Like, I'm good to go. Come on, let's go out. Like, come with me. Come back to my island. And the demon's like, yeah, I don't roll in the sun. No, fuck that. So he goes back and he gets this weird old steamer trunk, puts the fucking demon in it, hucks it on the plane, takes it on the boat, heads back to old Crockett Island with it, right?
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, the guy in the beginning with the big ass trunk. Yep.
Okay.
Fucking demon in it.
I don't blame him. If that demon could make my back not hurt,
I know, right?
I would build him his own little backpack. I'd bring him everywhere.
I know, right? Let him hang
I would
out
get
there.
that motherfucker spaghetti factory like twice a week.
He would love that shit.
I'm sure he would.
And so now while he's telling this story, people around the island are starting to feel like they're starting to realize that like they don't need their glasses anymore. And like little sassy girl, she can walk again. And oh, hey, my back pain's getting way better. Now this spells bad news for Erin, who is 20 weeks pregnant. Yeah. So in episode 4, Erin is pregnant, and she wakes up one day and she is not anymore.
Whoa.
Yep. She didn't have a miscarriage. Her pregnancy just disappeared. Now, I'm going to be real candid. This one got me. I have, in order to get our boys, I had many, many pregnancy losses. And like, it is gnarly. And the way that they dealt with it in the show is so heart-wrenchingly accurate. That feeling is conveyed so well. Like, it's not like, if you've never been through it and you don't know, then you don't know. But if you watch this, somebody went through it and wrote it, and it is so good.
That's wonderful.
It was really validating, honestly.
Was it like a little cathartic?
It was, yeah, because she's talking about, she's like, this baby, who she called Littlefoot, because she could see the little foot on the ultrasound. I know, it's fucking horrible. She's like, this little foot saved my life. How can she be here one day and she's just gone? I mean, like, it's all the feelings, it's all the thoughts that you have, and like why and what happened and what's wrong with me. She's just not pregnant anymore, and it's horrible. And so that's when they start to realize that maybe they haven't just been drinking the blood of Christ. Like,
oh shit!
Like maybe they've been getting little sneaky squirrel shots of the demon blood in their wine.
Yeah, but then why isn't the kid in? Like, I mean, I was super lucky. Like with Alex, it was a perfect pregnancy. It might have been, he might be the Antichrist just because it was so easy.
He's so fucking cute.
But like, he was a long time in the making. Like we tried for, I don't know, like probably a year and a half. Like we tried for forever.
7. I lost 7 pregnancies.
Damn.
Between both the boys. Yeah, 7.
Damn.
They said that that's part of the reason Wolfie was so early, is he was just like, he just couldn't hang on anymore. Like wasn't
he like 10 pounds when he was born?
Yeah,
though?
He was fucking
If
big.
He was full term, he would have ripped his way out.
He would have just popped a hand out and been like, I can just deliver myself.
Yeah.
Like, I'm good. Yeah, he was big. And so at that point, they haven't quite figured out what is going on, but they know something's up. And so she has this really intense conversation. Erin and Riley have this intense conversation about what happens when we die. And she's of the opinion that when we die, we go to heaven, because she's a good Catholic. We go to heaven and we get to be with everyone that we love and that we miss. And he's like, yeah, there is no God, and we are made of stars and energy, and we just go back where we came from, right?
That's true. That's true. Yeah,
totally.
God puke. We go into the big old bowl of God puke.
And we do.
And then we each get a little ladle of it when we're born again.
So good. And so they both have these these very different interpretations of what happens when we die. And Riley's like, you get a big dump of DMT in your brain, and you have the most like vivid, intense hallucination dream ever, and then you're just gone.
Yeah, that's true. And that's true.
And she's like, that's so bleak. I hate it so much, and blah 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 blah. And
yeah, but when she dies, her brains are gonna tell her that that's what's happening, and then she'll fade into nothingness. It's like, it's whatever.
Are you psychic? You have seen the end of this.
No. That's just what happens. Like your brain just tells you what you want to hear. It just like lulls you into a sweet nothing, and then you just don't wake up.
There's no fear.
Yeah.
And so they have this really intense conversation that, again, reduced me to fucking tears, because what happens when we die? And she talked about her baby being a dream and going back to heaven and not ever getting to wake up on this earth, and it's so sad. Again, this is why I couldn't do this on the computer. Because I would just cry all the time. And So Father Paul starts to realize that some things are off about his angel gift too. Like now all of a sudden he's like super hungry, and but he like doesn't want the soup that Bev keeps bringing him, and he tries to.
Because she's not bringing him Spaghetti Factory.
Exactly.
She'd bring him a bowl of that. They only ever have one soup. She'd bring him a bowl of that minestrone. He would have been like,
He'd be like, oh, this is perfect, but she wouldn't.
Put a little bit of Mazithra on there. We're good.
Oh, yum.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I know what's for dinner.
Oh, that sounds so good. And so he's like, ooh, every time I try to go outside, I get all burned up and crusty. Like,
Welcome to my fucking life.
right?
As
I know.
Oregonians, yeah.
Very white. I know it. And one of the drunk guys from the island stumbles in, and he's like, Father, oh, you look busy. Should I just go? And he's like, no, it's fine. I'm just like super hungry and a little burned up. I'm fine. And the guy's like, whoop, and he slips and he falls and he hits his head. And he's laying on the ground bleeding everywhere. And Father Hotpants is like, yeah, I could help you, but like I'm so hungry and like your brains are just like coming out with all the blood. I'm just gonna have a little taste.
Yeah, at that point you're pretty much just leaving money on the table. Right. Like, there's no use in wasting a good ragu.
Exactly. You know? So he does a little.
Who wouldn't?
I know, right? But then he's like, oh no, I just drank blood. Now nobody has fangs. So it's not like true vampire, but he definitely he got him some num-nums.
My buddy Ian and I, we ate corpse blood one time.
Really? Real
corpse
blood?
Yeah, it tasted kind of like cocaine.
Oh, like cocaine.
Oh, the guy might have been real. It was a jumper. Like he might have been real high.
Oh shit, maybe.
Yeah.
Ooh. I had a guy that I met in Portland when I lived in Vancouver when I was like 14, and he was like, come back to my apartment and I want to drink your blood, which at the time I was like down. I was down. He was cute.
I would have like surfed there on a stream of my own juices at that point.
Oh, for sure. I went back. He cut me with a Lady Bic razor and sucked the blood out of my arm, and then I went home and never saw him again.
Yeah,
who knew?
Right.
So the angel shows up, right? And Father Paul's like, where have you been? I was so hungry and thirsty, and you were supposed to give me your blood to drink, and I had to drink this guy's blood. And the angel's like, shush. Walks over to, like, the little thing they keep the wine in and, like, slits his wrist and just starts dumping his own fucking blood in there, right? He's like, oh, I got this. I'll take care of it. And,
that's a homie.
Yeah, but, like, as the demon's in the middle of, like, refilling the wine thing, Riley comes in. And he's like, hey, what's up? What is that? And the thing, gets him, right? Wraps his fucking cursed wings around him and just starts nibbling at his throat. Right. I know. I was heartbroken. So then we cut to episode 5, which is right where it picks up. And all of a sudden, Riley's back. He's back. He's been gone, but he's back. And his eyes are a little twinkly. And he goes to Erin's house. And he's like, hey, remember that time right before you ran away and we hung out in a boat all night smoking cigarettes out on the water? Let's go do that. And she's like, oh, that's a weird request, but okay. I am kind of mad at you because you didn't show up when you were supposed to, but that's fine. Let's go do it. So they get in this little paddle boat. They paddle out to the middle of the water. And he tells her, this fucking demon, it fucking nom-nommed on my neck. I turned into a vampire. Nobody uses the word vampire. He's like, I woke up, and then Father Hotpants was like, hey, I'm actually Monsignor Pruitt. You know me. You've always known me. Like, you're with me now. This is all a gift from an angel of the Lord. You literally drank of his blood, and now you are blessed to be without death, just like it literally says in the Bible. And that was when my red flags were like, oh no. Oh, we're going literal with the Bible. Okay. That's a bold move, but okay. And so...
yeah, they have some hot takes on women and slaves really and shit, too.
And so many things. Yeah. And so so they're out on the boat, and he's told Erin the whole story. And she's like, so are you trying to scare me? Like, what is the deal? Why did you bring me out here where we're alone and I can't get away? And he says... we're not out here because I want to get you. We're out here so I can't run away. And she's like, what? And then the sun starts to rise. And she realizes he doesn't want the gift of the angel of God. He's killing himself in the sunshine. And as the sun rises, yes, he turns to ash, and she does the most amazing final girl scream I've ever heard in my life. It is epic. It is earth-shattering. And I, again, burst into tears because they cut to what he sees as he's dying. What does he see? that she was right and that the girl that he killed was there to get him, forgive him, and take him to heaven where he would live forever. You know, DMT dump or real, we don't know, right? So she's horrified. Episode 6, she's like, okay, I guess I'm gonna have to go back to the fucking island. And I just watched this guy that I love burn up into ash and he's dead and everything is horrible. Okay, so she goes back to the island and she goes to the doctor there. And she's like, we have to do something. He told me this crazy story and we have to stop this. Everybody's drinking this fucking angel blood and then crazy shit's happening. And that's when the doctor tells her, like, oh, that might be why you lost the baby, because the blood seems to return you to your most perfect self and would attack anything that it considered like an invasion or an alien or something. And so she finds out that thanks to all those little shots of blood, like her baby just sort of was reabsorbed into her body and disappeared, because you can't be pregnant if you're the fucking undead.
Wow.
Horrifying.
So she can never, ever, ever become pregnant.
Never, because she's had the gift of the angel
now,
blood.
okay, is this like a how do I put it? Is this like a tattoo, or is this like Botox, in the sense of like, is it something that you have to like, once you get it, it's just there and you always have that? Or is it something that you have to keep up with?
So you always have it. It's like a tattoo. Yeah, you always have it. Yeah, like for sure you're done for.
So she's never going to be able to be pregnant.
Never. Oh,
and
if you die, you just come right back. And then you live forever.
Fuck, for sure.
And everyone, but you have to, if you've drank the blood and you die, you're definitely a vampire forever. But if you drink the blood and you live for a while, then when you die, you're returned to your perfect form.
Huh.
Because a lot of the Catholic stuff about heaven and when you die is that when you go to heaven, you are restored to your perfect self, which apparently is like a hard 42 if we're going with Father Hotpants, because he's looking real good. Riley looked really good. They all looked fucking primo before they die.
I mean, I looked really, really good in my early 20s, but like my brains were just made of garbage and ghosts.
Yeah. So many
it's
bad
like,
decisions.
Would I like be restored to like my brains now, but my body then? Like, do they do hybrids, or is it just like this one day in August you were like having a really fucking good minute and that's where you go to?
That might be the one. That last one. I'm thinking. And so they get together and the doctor's like, oh shit, by the way, you know my mom who was ancient and crazy and full of demons in her head? Yeah, this is her now, and she looks 30 years younger than her doctor daughter. And they're like, okay, well, all the three of us, like, we're going to get together. We're going to go figure this out. And you're like, why is this old lady here? This doesn't make any sense. It's gonna. So they go to the sheriff. They try to tell him. And everyone in town is just like, you know what? Just come to mass tonight at midnight. We're going to figure this out together. Everything's going to be fine. There's only 2 people on the island who have not been taking communion. It's the sheriff and the doctor. And so...
What about the sheriff's son?
He was not supposed to, but he did. Yeah. He wasn't supposed to. He was like, please don't go to mass. And he's like, but all my friends go there. And he's like, don't do it. You're Muslim. He's like, I don't want to be Muslim. You fucking suck. Yeah, horrible. So he took communion and didn't tell him, right?
It must be a guitar church with a cool pastor who wears jeans.
He does wear jeans.
Yep, I knew it.
Black jeans.
I knew it.
Yes.
I knew it was a guitar church.
It is a guitar church. So by now, at this point, I'm convinced that all religions are cults. All religions are cults. We always knew it, but I'm thinking it through and I'm like, yep, and check, and check, and check, and check, and all of them. And yes, okay, officially every religion is a cult. Because you're watching these crazed Christians go to this Catholic church and get all body of Christ, you know, and get all weird. It's just, yeah, it's so intense. And so in preparing for this midnight mass with this big reveal, the people who are friends with Father Hotpants, they cut all the power to the island. They kill all the boats. They send them away. They light candles and they sing creepily while they walk towards the church, and everyone just joins up. Yes. And so they get into the church and they lock everyone in. And they're like, okay, it's time for the gift, right? And the sheriff is there because he's like, shit's going down. I want to see it. I want to know what's going on. And the doctor's there with her fucking hottie mom, who's now apparently age 30 again, right? And so
It's an awkward double date.
it is, right? It's very strange. So they're all in the church, and Father Hotpants comes out, and he's like, all right, so I'm actually Monsignor Pruitt. I know, I look good for my age, but seriously, this is
Clean
a gift
living,
from God.
Botox.
Yeah, clean living, Botox, kale.
Yeah.
It's a superfood.
You know it.
And he's like, so, yeah, I'm going to show y'all why I look so good, why I've been restored. It's literally the blood of the angel of the Lord. You've been drinking it. I know I should have told you, but I didn't, you know. And so, like, you're already all blessed. All you have to do is drink this little cup. And I'm going to have this guy show you how to do it. So one of his little handymen walks up and takes just a fucking shot of Drano. And everyone's like, what the fuck? And then starts foaming at the mouth and violently dies in front of the whole congregation. And he's like, no, it's fine. Everything's fine. He'll be back in a minute. In a minute, he'll be back. Stop screaming. Don't run. Everything's fine. In the meantime, the sheriff's like, you just straight up murdered that guy. And he pulls his gun out. Well, then you hear, caw, because the angel is in the corner and he doesn't like guns. And then the angel/demon comes out and everyone's like, what the shit is this? What the fuck? That's not an angel, dude. You don't know what an angel looks like. That is not one.
You've been giving us demon blood?
Exactly. Demon blood. What the hell? And so, in the meantime, the guy wakes up and he's like, oh shit. Ooh, wipe this puke off my face. I feel so much better. Ooh, but I'm real hungry. There's like a lot
There's
of
a
people
lot of
in
you.
here. And they're like, one of me, one of you. Yeah, I'm going to eat. I'm going to eat somebody. And everyone's like, well, wait, he just woke up. I want to do that. They start taking fucking shots like crazy. They're like, give me the Drano. It is horrifying.
Who in the fuck? Okay, so everyone in the town is in this church, save for like 3 or 4 people on the outside. Who are they going to feast on?
Exactly. Where is
what
the
is
forethought?
their end game? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no. Classic religious zealot move. No end game. Haven't thought it through yet, right?
Yeah.
So, half the people take the shots. The other half are like, dear God, why are we doing this? Let us out of the church.
Oh, that's who they feast on. But then if they've already had the blood of the demon and then they die, they're just going to come back again.
Exactly.
So it's like die or die.
Exactly. And they all die. There's
No
blood
shit.
on the
Massacre?
walls.
Yeah.
Massacre. Except for a few who make it out the back door, which is the sheriff and Erin and the doctor and her mom. And you're like, okay, cool, this ragtag group of people, they're going to save everything, right? So they go and they set what few boats are left on fire. They're like, these fucking things can't get to the mainland.
Then why don't they just leave on the boat?
Right? Because they wanted to ensure that there was no way for them out. And so she's like, well, we've all had the demon blood, but you two haven't had the demon blood. So, yeah, this is going to get sticky. So we're going to split up. I'm going to set the boats on fire. You set all the houses on fire. They'll have nowhere to go. And then we'll just see what happens. We'll see what happens.
That's a terrible fucking
It is
plan.
a terrible plan.
Any plan that ends in we'll see what happens, unless it's dinner or tentative plans,
is a bad plan.
is a bad plan.
And so, so the angel of the Lord, quote unquote, the fucking demon, notices that there's a few scattered around that are trying to like undo his little plan of being worshipped, I guess. And so he takes off and he gets Erin as she's just set the boats on fire. And he chomps onto her neck and he's just eating the shit out of her. And she very gently starts like slicing holes in his wings so that he can't fly away. And he notices, he's like, what are you doing? She's like, no, just keep eating. Slices all these holes in his weird little testicle bat wings. And so once he's done and she's almost dead, he's like, oh, what the fuck? And he tries to fly away and he kind of falls down, and he's like super mad.
Doesn't he regenerate?
That's what I was wondering too, but it's like 20 minutes to sunrise, right? So then Erin's laying there dying and she does this whole thing that sends me into the sobs that created these swollen eyes where she's talking about why don't I ever remember until right this moment all the lives that I've lived, and I'm going back and I am the atoms and I return to the stars. And she has Riley's death experience. Yeah, but she was the one who thought she was going to heaven, and now she's having Riley's death experience. They swapped death thingies and they both had it. They were both right. And she dies, and it's like, it doesn't matter that she comes back because the sun comes up and everyone dies. Everyone just scattered to ashes. Everyone on the island gone. Demon dead. Everyone dead. Blood everywhere.
The sheriff's son?
Dead.
Oh, man.
Burned up. Yeah.
The sheriff is alive, though, yeah?
No, dead.
Everyone.
No, everyone's dead. He actually got shot by Bev a couple of times, and she called him a raghead and a terrorist. It made me feel gross. Yeah, it was gross.
Yeah, but she's dead, so that makes me feel a little better.
Me too. So I mean, that's it. Now I skimmed over one really important thing, as we find out the real reason that, now this is important, the real reason that Father Hotpants brought the demon over is because he was in love with the doctor's mother. And their daughter is the doctor. They had an affair. They were in love the whole time. They could never be together. She was married to someone else. And he was like, I'm young again. This demon can make her young again. We have a chance to do it over.
So the entire thing is just a dark, alternate world Great Gatsby.
Mm-hmm. For love. Oh. I took one look at Dave and I was like, would you ever bring a demon back so that we could have a second chance? And he goes, are you out of your fucking mind? I would never do that. And I was like, no, but it's so romantic. And he was like, I'm never doing that. That's insanity. And I was like,
that is awesome, because Nick would never either. He's one for grand gestures, but not at the expense of humanity.
And I was like, you know what? The bar is now officially set higher, because I'm going to need a grand romantic gesture at the expense of humanity.
But the grand romantic gesture is that he loves your kids enough that he doesn't want them to bear witness to such atrocities.
Oh, see, now you went and rationalized it, and it's really good.
You're welcome, Dave.
Oh.
That's for that hot tip on the stocks.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a little crypto crazy right now.
I pay him back in other ways.
I respect that. Yeah, and so I told him, I was like, dude, this just set the bar, like, notebook style high.
Yeah, but now it's set super high, because I flipped it.
So that brings us...
Good luck topping that, Dave.
God, I know, right? He's done for. He's never going to get it. So that brings us to our cards. Yes. We've got Christ Num Nums. We've got Mike Flanagan and Grief. We've got Trivia about Midnight Mass. And we've got Erin, Human Encyclopedia of Movies. Which one?
I'm going to go Christ Num Nums, and they better be Spaghetti Factory.
Oh, they're not. And I'm so sorry. But this is where we take a hard left. So we're still going to have fun. So because we went into the in-depth idea of literally eating and drinking the body of Christ, right? That led me down a bit of a rabbit hole. Now, have you ever heard of a sin eater?
Is that what I do at night?
Maybe, but probably not.
I'm like the hungry caterpillar.
I know, right?
Takes a lot to maintain this.
So a sin eater is someone who, in the 18th and 19th centuries, back in England, Scotland, Wales, the general white people area.
Oh, X-Files.
Yes.
Yes.
They would place bread on the chest of the recently deceased, which, to absorb their sins, and a dude, a pre-designated dude in the town, would eat the bread to absorb the sins of the dead person so that they could go into their afterlife free of sin.
If I saw corpse bread and it was fresh baked, not gonna lie.
But
I'd be like, well, I'm your sin eater now. You got some peanut butter?
You know what? It was a long time ago, and like,
food was
scarce. For sure. Yeah. So sin eating was a thing. So this Christy Num Nums has been a thing throughout all time in different religions and denominations, but my favorite is the Sin Eater. Now, one of my favorite books on earth is called Sin Eater by Megan Campisi. If you get a chance, download the Audible book. It is so fucking good. This book, another one of those that moved me to tears. I was sobbing while I was reading it. I recommend this to everyone. It's about a young girl who is, in lieu of a jail sentence and execution, she is deemed the sin eater for the town.
Sounds fine to me. Put some spaghetti on old George there.
Right?
I'll
They were
stop
hungry.
that right up.
Now, in this book, she does an amazing version, or an amazing job, sort of lining out each sin for each food. So, like, you could for sure eat
no
good
shit.
stuff. Yeah,
Okay.
like lamb's brains, for infidelity or whatever, and then like a pig hoof if you coveted your neighbor's cow or something. But like, you get to eat like garlic bread and shit too if they just had regular sins. The downside is you have to wear this giant metal collar that never comes off, and they tattoo an S on your tongue, and no one's allowed to like acknowledge that you exist or speak to you. So ups
what's
and downs.
different?
I know, right? So if you get a chance, check out Sin Eater. It is the best. I listen to it at night sometimes to fall asleep. It is so fucking good. Megan Campisi, Campisi. Delicious, nutritious, sin eating. All right. Trivia, Human Encyclopedia, Mike Flanagan, and Grief, the gift that keeps on giving. Okay.
Isn't it, though?
It really
Grief
is.
is great.
So in these key stories that I'm going to talk about, grief is the main theme, and I'm just going to call him my patron saint of grief. Mike Flanagan is my patron saint of grief. In Bly Manor, that is a retelling of Turn of the Screw. It is the grief around death and madness and just your general sad things.
That all sounds great.
In Dr. Sleep, which he wrote.
I liked it.
I liked it too. It was good. In Dr. Sleep, he obviously, Danny is a hospice nurse. There's lots of death and grief and the loss of childhood.
I thought about doing that.
Innocence.
Actually, hospice nurse.
It's hard shit, but it's good.
I'm fine with death.
The Haunting of Hill House. So literally, he embodied the 5 stages of grief in his characters. So,
Brilliant.
Have you seen it?
No.
Okay.
I really like the really, really, really old Haunting of Hill House.
That is really good. It's totally different. I mean, Haunting
I
of Hill House
assumed.
is so
I
good.
started to watch it, and then I was like, it's a little too teen drama for me. Just like Lock and Key.
I can't watch Lock and Key for sure.
I don't know, man.
I can't.
Lock and Key is spooky in
Is
a lot of ways.
it?
I would recommend give it 4 episodes.
Okay.
You know? Yeah, it kind of starts slow, but it's pretty good. I'd never completed it. It actually freaked me out a little too bad. I intend to, but yeah.
Interesting. So yeah, so in The Haunting of Hill House, Stephen is denial, Shirley is anger, Theo is bargaining, Theodora is the best name. I love that name. This is my best. I named one of my characters Theodora in my new book. Depression is Luke, and acceptance is Nell. So if you've seen it,
Man, that is brilliant.
Yes.
That is so cool.
he is so good at that. He's so good at grief.
That's really cool.
It's really good. Okay, we've got 2 left. Trivia or Human Encyclopedia, Erin?
Human Encyclopedia, Erin.
Okay, so with this one, we're going to play a little game.
Ooh, I love games.
That would be pick a character from Midnight Mass, and I will tell you what makes them spooky.
The girl with the glass all over her.
Okay, not her. A different character.
Just spooky because she's spooky. I like the guy who killed her.
Okay, so Riley.
Yes.
So he is in Oculus, also written by Mike Flanagan. Who's spooky.
I love that. He must be terrified of fucking mirrors by now.
Oh, right?
Also,
I know, totally, and he's a cutie pants.
I honestly didn't even realize that they're the same person because he looks so young in Oculus.
He does.
He looks like he's like 17, which I think he's supposed to be really young anyway.
Well, I have this ridiculous encyclopedia of like movie and TV carnival knowledge in my head and who is connected to who. So if you run out of people, I'll just give you a quick rundown.
That's awesome. The hot priest.
Oh, we're talking Hamish Linklater. He is married to Lily Rabe, who stars in all of the American Horror Stories. Yes.
Oh, I love her.
Oh my God, she's amazing. They also star together in Tell Me Your Secrets, an Amazon Prime original.
That's where he's so insidious. Oh my God.
I mean, he's for sure a rapist in that, like convicted rapist.
Yes. If you haven't seen it, you need to.
He's so fucking good.
Oh,
he's
man.
so good.
That was such a good show.
And Lily Rabe was in that too. Yeah, she's the queen of American Horror Story.
She plays a wild-eyed, shifty character so well. She plays in everything so well.
Even when she was playing Stevie Nicks.
I don't personally like Fleetwood Mac. It's just not my fucking thing. But yeah, she did a great job.
Oh, she did so good. She was so good. The sheriff,
Yeah.
iZombie.
I like him.
He was in iZombie. Did you ever watch that show?
No.
It was the CW show based on a comic book. It's on Netflix right now. It's definitely like Riverdale, but with zombies.
Alex would be into it.
Yeah, he was so fucking good in that. And of course he was in The Haunting of Bly Manor, but we're gonna skim over that because it's not as spooky as this one. He turns into like a half zombie in that movie. He plays the coroner. He's so fucking good. Annabeth Gish, who plays the doctor on this, was famously in the X-Files for 2 or 3 seasons plus the movie. She was she was spooky ooky in that. Kate Siegel, of course, who stars in it as Erin, was in Hush with the woman who plays Bev. They were in that together. Hush is where where she's a deaf woman who's writing a book and lives alone, and the guy shows up and she can't. Oh, it's so good. So she's spooky from that, and of course she plays Theodora in The Haunting of Hill House, and she's like the queen of spook in The Haunting of Bly Manor. But she's so fucking good in Hush. Okay, the woman who plays the doctor's mother, who's like in love with Father Hotpants. She played the mom in Dr. Sleep, Danny's mom.
Huh.
I didn't even what's her fucking name? Wendy. She played Wendy Torrance. Yeah, in Dr. Sleep. Spooky.
Man, that movie it hit me.
And Kristen Lehman, who played Henry Thomas's wife, Riley's mom in this, she was in The Killing, which was a fucking fantastic FX show starring Joel Kinnaman and the woman who I can't pronounce her name because it's a beautiful French name. But yeah, she was spooky in that too. Murder. And then of course we have Henry Thomas who plays Riley's dad, and he was in E.T. when he was a child. He was the little boy from E.T.
I thought he looked familiar.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good for him still getting work.
He's so good. And that leaves us with trivia. So I'm going to tell you a couple of trivia points about this, and we are going to wrap it up. So Kate Siegel's character, who played Erin, of course, her character in Hush was a writer, and she was writing a book called Midnight Mass.
Oh, bringing it back. Bringing it back. I love that.
Oh, it's so good. The demon angel shares traits with Aluka, a vampire demon mentioned in Proverbs in the Bible. Demon.
Damn. That's some good trivia. That's some tasty trivia.
Thank you. So the creature in flight is seen by several residents of the island while it's flying around, it's checking shit out, it's looking for like cats to eat and stuff. And everyone on the island is like, oh, that's a giant fucking albatross. And of course, an albatross is a symbol of guilt and burden experienced by many who are inundated with grief. Thank you, Grief King. And last but not least, Monsignor Pruitt's encounter on the road to Damascus, his whole story of meeting the angel in the cave, actually mirrors the story of Saul. I'm not a big Bible person, so I'm gonna trust that this is right, because Saul experienced being blinded by the light of God as he is blinded by the sandstorm, and then swallowed by darkness, which of course he was when he got munched on, and then Saul became a disciple of Jesus after that because of the force of change, and Father Hotpants became a disciple of the demon. And that's a deep dive on Midnight Mass.
Damn, that was good.
Thank you. That was long.
I'm definitely going to watch it now.
Oh, it's so good. I hope you do. I hope you guys watch it. If anybody wants to debate it with me, I'm down. Like, hit me up for sure. I love it. I always love different aspects on stuff and, different points of view.
Man, that was good. Cool.
Thank you. So until next time, everybody, go back and listen to some of our older episodes if you get the chance. Yeah, our Patreon is up. It's ready. It's just waiting. It's just waiting for you to take. We're waiting to take your money.
Yeah, that's true. We are.
Yeah. So until next time, see ya.